Hey, Ben.
Hey, CJ. Hey, I've seen your videos. You've been doing great work for us. We appreciate that. But I've heard some things. I heard that you were lying and cheating and stuff. I heard you said you were going to blow up the church. What's up with that? So, even though you've been doing really good work, and a lot of people have said that, we're going to fire you, okay?
Fired for what? This is unfair. I never did any of that stuff. Well, okay. Well, have a nice day.
Hey, kids. Hey, parents. CJ just got a bad end of the deal. See, I told him that I knew, and everybody else had seen, that he'd been doing good work, and even though he'd been doing good work, we're going to fire him. And then I made up something about him blowing up the church, which is just kind of crazy. See, that's kind of like what happened with Jesus. People saw him doing miracles, and they saw him teaching, and they heard him teaching about God's kingdom, and they saw that he was from God. There was no other explanation. There were just some people that didn't like it, like the religious leaders, and so they were plotting behind the scenes to kill Jesus, to get him out of the way. And so they had people that come and made up false charges, and they said that he was going to destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days. Now, he had said something about that, but he meant, he said, you're going to kill me and then I will rise again. He was kind of using a word picture for them. But Jesus was treated unfairly. He had done nothing wrong. He had no sin, and yet he was going to be condemned to die. But he was standing in our place. He was taking the punishment for our sin. And so that is why Jesus endured that. And CJ said, okay, he asked why, and then he went out. Well, Jesus didn't even ask why. He knew what was going on. And so he was treated unfairly so that we didn't get what was fair for us. So think about that, about why Jesus died. And have you received him? Have you let him stand in your place, or are you relying on yourself? Talk about that with your mom and dad. And think about that. Let the Holy Spirit work in your heart through his word. Encourage each other that Jesus stood. He was able to take unfair treatment for you. Now, I've got one more thing, and it's a question this week, okay? So if you'll go to John 18:13, and probably verse 14 talks about it a little bit too, but it names the person that Jesus had to stand before. He was the high priest that year. So his name, I want to hear his name. You get a point for the Trail Stop Store. All right, guys. Hope you have a good week. Take care.